You're so ahead of everybody else.
What do you plan to do with all this power?
Did you mind at all that feeling of like everyone being like, what are you doing?
Since you get hundreds of millions, what's considered a flop for you?
I have a question. Like, what do you plan to do with all this power? Like, because it's the money. I know you do the nonprofit stuff, but like, what happens after YouTube? And I'm also curious, does your content evolve or just become its own network? Like, do you become Jimmy, this guy doing this other sort of content?
Yeah.
And MrBeast is like becomes a network that continues MrBeast content, like as you age. Cause like you're probably not gonna want to be like, all right, today I'm doing, you know what I'm saying, forever, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's the evolution?
I mean, or are you doing
24,
I would say like,
he's only 24.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay, let's 6 more years, right?
It's a long time.
I've got decades in me. Who the fuck cares?
So look, I'm not saying you.
I got your answer.
You planning your retirement over there?
Yeah,
What's going on?
I'm just talking about the evolution.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean the content.
Sorry.
Fuck you.
Yeah, sorry. We can do that here, all right?
Yeah.
Fight. I'm kidding.
No, yeah, we're good.
But that was a lot to process. Reining in.
Let's talk about the evolution.
I think you obviously YouTube's not going anywhere. It's just going to keep growing. The craziest part is like Google just fucking owns the internet. It's like, and Google obviously, Alphabet owns YouTube and just funnels motherfuckers in here. We come pre-installed on Android. It's like there's just no world where YouTube doesn't grow year over year, in my opinion, for the next 10 years. And so I think there's nothing more lucrative possible than to just be the biggest YouTuber for the next decade. And then and yes, the content I will change and adapt. I just make videos I enjoy. So in the future, if I enjoy a different style of videos, I'll just make a different style. But I still, the same principles apply. You gotta have good storytelling, a good hook, a good payoff. But I think if we can be the biggest YouTube channel in the world for the next 10 years, and we leverage that to build things like Feastables, to build like the restaurants, do a mobile gaming company, and I already, basically sped up like 10 different companies over the course of those 10 years. I mean, I just don't see a world where,
Did you mind at all that feeling of like everyone being like, what are you doing?
Well, of course. I mean, it's weird. I think the problem is like, I told this story years ago, it probably would have helped. It's so much more acceptable now. Like everyone wants to be a YouTuber. Everyone wants to be a TikToker. Like growing up now, like you can just tell by the people and the numbers and explosion of social media that like, it's a lot more widely accepted. And also it might also be where I grew up in North Carolina. It's different than LA. But back then, like it really just was a strange thing. You know what I mean? To like want to dedicate your life to being a YouTuber and being that obsessed. And so for me, like there's probably like 0 people within a 1-hour radius of me that actually loved YouTube like I did and anything like that. So it's just like if you wake up and every day you obsess over something and you live and breathe it, and that's what you think about, that's what you do, that's what you study on and off, that's what you stay up every night grinding, and no one else even gives a flying about it. It's like you just feel like a weirdo, like an outcast. And I was also like just dumb. Back then I didn't realize, I just need to find different people. I thought like, my whole life I'll just never enjoy talking to people. Yeah. And then I met other YouTubers and then I started talking to them like 10 hours a day, and I was like, then that's when the channel really started taking off.
Yeah.
What's some good like YouTube tips? I heard you say one earlier. What was it? 10% of people with the thumbnail?
10% of people with the thumbnail.
Or like only 10% of people
100 million,
watch your video.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, click-through rate.
90%
yeah, exactly.
are just scrolling.
Exactly, yeah, because you probably have like, yours is probably like 5 to 7%, so it's even more. Like, so if this episode gets 10 million views, that means like 200 million people saw the thumbnail. Wow. Which is crazy. And so again, it comes back to like, you really just have to make sure when people fucking click your videos, they love it. That's why we're able to get so many views, because we've consistently put out, obviously I'm biased, but great videos over a long term where people are just conditioned to see a MrBeast video, they click. Oh, MrBeast, click. MrBeast, click. And they'll just do it. And every time they're not let down, so they keep doing it. And where a lot of people fall off is like, they break that trust by having one bad video. And then like, every other video is kind of eh. And then you like, when your video is recommended to them, it leaves it up in the air. They're like, well, is this one of those ones where it's kind of shit, or is it one of the ones where we put in effort? I don't know. But this guy always makes great videos. I'll just watch them instead, right? And so that's what happens. Like, again, if this gets 10 million views, 200 million people are going to have seen it on YouTube.
What was your relationship to money when you were growing up?
I mean, it's hard because I don't want to like overplay it.
Sure.
You know, it's not like I was like worrying where my next meal would come from, but we weren't the most well off. Like it was very quickly came to a point where I was making more on like a single brand deal than my mom made an entire year. And she was like raising me and my brother and sister and stuff like that. It was.
But did you desire money like when you were younger?
I've always want money so I can make better videos, so I can grow my channel. Yeah. But it's like, no, I mean like, dude, like the type of stuff I do now would have been unfathomable to anyone back when I was younger. Like so unfathomable, it's crazy. Like if you told me when I was like 15 that one day I'd make $100,000 a year, I would have been like, what the f?
Yeah.
People make that kind of money?
Right.
Like I thought it was crazy that a YouTuber made like $300,000 over the course of a few years. You know what I mean? Like it's like it was pretty brutal. Like, you know, a few $100 was like out of this world insane back then, you know?
Yeah.
The video we talked about yesterday where you lost $500,000 on that though. When you look at that number, does that worry you?
Well, no, I mean, at the end of the day, I could spend less per videos if I want to. I'm just focused on making the best videos possible, period. I don't care about making money. I don't care about time. I don't care about anything. I just want to make the best videos on the planet. But at any point, if I was like, oh, I need to stop losing money, I just you know, don't spend $1 million on the next video. Just spend $100,000.
Like outside of those things, do you see yourself doing any sort of like content that maybe is not related to this? Like, would you ever do content where you maybe just have a podcast and you talk about, you know, what you've done? And
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Or is it just always going to be
right now? I'm
MrBeast?
just so stretched thin because we run 3 YouTube channels and I try to post on TikTok and every platform all pretty consistently. Like the first week of this month, the 3 most liked TikToks on the entire platform were all ours. We had the most liked TikTok, the second most liked TikTok, and the third. So we're like going really hard on TikTok, and we're trying to, you know, keep the gaming channel uploading and reacts and averaging 20 million views a video, and then the main like 70. So I got enough right now, but yeah, in the future I'll probably do more things.
Are those just clips from your YouTube videos that are getting?
No. Like Corn Kid was a really funny trend that was going viral. So we
so you're doing the trends?
Yeah, and then actually, it's funny you mentioned the money thing. One of them, we flew that Jimmy Dark guy down, and we went up to people in Walmart, and we were like, "Do you want $1,000 or give someone random $10,000?"
Yeah,
and that got like 50 million views in like a couple of days, and it's just stuff like that. Whatever you know, we think.
What about your creative? Like, do you ever run out of ideas?
Oh fuck no! I have a Google Doc with like 10,000 ideas in it, and at least like 500 I know would go ultra viral. It's the problem is more like the time to film them. Not ideas has always been easy for me.
Netflix sure cares about retention, but they're grabbing content from all over, from people who aren't basing all of their data and analytics off 10 years of just uploading to Netflix.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right. And that's what's entirely different about creating for YouTube is that you're taking the metrics from one place and have been for the last decade or more.
Which
right? Like,
it just gets OP when you just do it and you just study year after year after year after year, and you learn from every mistake, and you have other people doing it, and you're teaching each other, and like if you want to be a YouTuber, if you're watching this, right, like, and you're thinking in the scale of 10 years, like if you literally are grinding and you're obsessed and you're just every day studying and learning, and you surround yourself with smart people and you just work like hell, to be honest, for 10 years, like there's probably a good chance you'll make it. But if you do that over the course of 6 months or a year, I don't know. That's why I like to think over a span of a decade. A lot of people are very short-term sighted, but you know, as long as you're innovating, adapting, reinvesting, I think if you do it intelligently, like you have a good odds of, I don't know,